The whiskey glass shattered against the wall, amber liquid streaking down the faded wallpaper like tears. I stood frozen, my pulse hammering in my ears, as Elena's voice cut through the haze. I married you because real men weren't available. Her words hung in the air, sharp and cold, slicing through 6 years of what I thought was love. The room smelled of burnt toast and betrayal, the remnants of our half-eaten dinner still on the table. Her phone lay there too, its screen glowing with a text from him. A name I didn't know but now couldn't forget, Marcus. I'd sensed it for months. The late-night work calls she took in the garage, her voice low and laughing. The way her eyes darted away when I asked about her day, her answers clipped vague. I'd chalked it up to stress, her promotion at the law firm, the long hours. I told myself I was paranoid, that love doesn't curdle without reason. But tonight, when she left her phone unlocked on the counter, the truth clawed its way out. A single message. Can't wait to see you tomorrow, babe. My chest tightened, a fist squeezing my heart until I couldn't breathe. Why? My voice cracked, raw and unsteady. I hated how small it sounded. Why him? Why not just tell me? Elena leaned against the kitchen counter, her arms crossed, her dark hair falling over one shoulder like a curtain hiding her shame. You wouldn't understand, Tom. You're safe. Predictable. Marcus, he's different. He sees me. Her words were a blade, twisting deeper with every syllable. Safe. Predictable. I'd spent years building a life for us, saving for a house, planning quiet weekends by the lake, cooking her favorite pasta when she worked late. I thought that's what love was, showing up, every day no matter what. But now, her eyes gleamed with something I didn't recognize. Defiance, maybe, or relief. Like she'd been carrying this secret so long it felt good to let it spill. I paced the linoleum floor, the squeak of my boots echoing in the silence. The kitchen clock ticked, relentless, counting down the seconds of our unraveling. How long? I asked, my voice steadier now, though my hands shook. How long have you been lying to me? She hesitated, her lips parting then closing. 6 months, she said finally, her voice barely above a whisper. It started at the conference in Chicago. 6 months. Half a year of stolen glances, secret texts, moments I'd never know. I thought of the nights I'd kissed her goodnight, oblivious, while she carried him in her thoughts. My stomach churned. Did you ever love me? The question slipped out before I could stop it, desperate and pathetic. Her eyes softened, just for a moment, and I hated her for it. I did, she said. I do. But it's not enough anymore. The room spun. I gripped the edge of the table, the wood cool and solid under my fingers, grounding me. Outside, the wind howled, rattling the windows of our small apartment. I'd always loved this place. The creaky floors, the view of the city skyline, the way the morning light spilled across her face as she slept. Now it felt like a stage, every corner mocking me with memories of a lie. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but the questions tangled in my throat. Instead, I grabbed my jacket and walked out, the door slamming behind me. The night air was sharp, biting at my skin as I wandered the empty streets. Neon signs flickered above bars, their glow blurring through the tears I refused to acknowledge. My mind replayed every moment. The way she'd started wearing perfume again, the weekends she spent visiting her sister. The way her laugh had grown distant, like it belonged to someone else. I ended up at a diner, the kind with sticky tables and coffee that tasted like regret. The waitress, a woman with kind eyes and a name tag that read Clara, slid a mug in front of me without a word. Her hands were weathered, her smile soft, like she'd seen men like me before, broken, staring into the abyss of a life upended. I sipped the coffee, bitter and scalding, and let my thoughts spiral. Had I missed something? Was I too wrapped up in my own world, my job at the warehouse, my routine of beers and baseball games, to notice her slipping away? Or was she always destined to leave, chasing something I could never be? The doubt gnawed at me, mixing with anger until I couldn't tell them apart. My phone buzzed. A text from Elena. I'm sorry. Can we talk? I stared at it, my thumb hovering over the screen. Part of me wanted to run back, to beg her to choose me. Another part wanted to erase her from my life, to burn every memory we'd built. I typed no and hit send, my heart pounding with the finality of it. Days bled into weeks. I moved out, crashing on a friend's couch, surrounded by takeout boxes and my own silence. Elena's things stayed in the apartment. Her books, her scarves, her half-used bottle of lavender shampoo. I couldn't face them. Instead, I threw myself into work, lifting crates until my muscles ached, trying to outrun the ache in my chest. Then I met Clara again. Not the waitress, but someone new, a woman at the community center where I started volunteering to fill the empty hours. She was a painter, her hands always flecked with color, her laugh warm like summer rain. She listened when I talked, not just to my words but to the spaces between them. She saw the cracks in me and didn't flinch. One night, over cheap wine and a canvas streaked with blues and golds, she said, "You're enough, Tom. You always were." Her words hit me harder than Elena's ever had. They weren't a confession or a betrayal. They were a truth I'd forgotten. I wasn't perfect, but I was real. And that was more than Elena had ever wanted. Months later, I heard Elena and Marcus had split. A mutual friend mentioned it in passing, expecting me to care. I didn't. I was in a new apartment by then, small but mine, with Clara's paintings on the walls and her laughter in the air. The city skyline still glowed outside my window, but it looked different now, brighter, sharper, like a promise. One night, as Clara slept beside me, her hand resting on my chest, I realized something. Elena's betrayal hadn't broken me. It had freed me. I'd spent years trying to be her version of enough, but now I was building something better. Something true. And as the city hummed outside, I closed my eyes, finally at peace with the man I'd always been.